Good morning, everybody. It's just about 9 o'clock, so I think we'll be able to get started, and hopefully we'll have a few more people joining us. My name is Nikki Parr. I'm the Associate Director for Strategic Initiatives at Women's Economic Ventures, and I want to welcome you to number 5 in our WEV Works webinar series. So this morning, I'm really excited to be joined by Michelle Gysan. Michelle is the founder of Local Searchability, which is a internet marketing, SEO, and sales business here in Santa Barbara. She's going to be talking to you about how to maximize your online presence. How do you reach customers online? How do you boost your visibility in search results? And how do you basically gain greater visibility on the internet for your business? I'm also delighted to announce that Michelle has just joined WEV as a Thrive Business Advisor as well. And she is also a SCORE mentor. So she brings a lot of expertise and a lot of experience with working with small businesses. So I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen and hand things over to Michelle.
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure. Can you all see my presentation here? Can you see it?
Not yet.
All right. Technology, sometimes it just, okay, let's try this. There we go. Okay, excellent. Well, good morning, everyone. And I just want to say thank you for coming this morning and being part of this presentation. We'll definitely open it up for some question and answers later. So I really want this to be practical, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions. There's a lot of content always when it comes to internet marketing. So right now, I just want to say that I know all of us are suffering with the pandemic in different ways. There's a lot we still can do with our businesses. And what I'm going to invite you to do is explore new ways to do business if you can. I know a lot of companies have just revamped their businesses for this pandemic. They're delivering products and services in new ways, such as restaurants just doing takeout and curbside delivery from some companies. And I really want you to give it some thought. Are there some new ways you can offer your services and your products? And if you need help in determining that, I think one of the best ways is to talk to your customers. We'll get into that in a minute. So this is a time right now when we can market. A lot of us put off marketing. It's something we don't like to do, or we're not sure how to do it because we're so busy running our businesses. Exactly. We're so overwhelmed with just the day-to-day of making our sales and our products and our services available. So right now is an excellent time to roll up the sleeves and learn a little bit more about internet marketing so that you can really optimize right now, while you might have some extra time, getting your business out there, branding it in a new way, shining like you've never shined before. And the key thing I want to say is that a lot of businesses are standing by the wayside. They're on the sidelines. They're in fear. They're paralyzed. Of course, we're all very, very concerned. But some of them aren't taking any action. So what that means is this time right now opens up the playing field for you to really shine. So the first thing I want to say is I don't want anyone to think that they should ever capitalize on this crisis, but you can be motivated to introduce your business in ways that are very altruistic. Be that hero. I remember during the mudslides in Montecito, there's a deli, Montecito Deli in Upper Coast Village, that offered free food to all the bucket brigades, the firefighters, the first responders, and to the general public. I went in there and they made me this amazing sandwich, and they just had a little donation bucket. So they were heroes. They were written up in the paper. They're just trying to do their part. And that's what I'm encouraging all businesses to do, is to give back right now. And if there's a way to offer discounts to your services, to be helpful in the community, it would be a perfect time to do that. And even if you can't, by the very nature of your business, say you own a clothing store and you don't feel like, well, there's really a way I can give back, you could almost even start a grassroots movement. Like, I'm going to start a food delivery service for the elderly or the shut-ins. and it's going to be XYZ clothing store is going to deliver food for free from the food bank to the elderly, and just do something altruistic for your community in the name of your business, even if it's not the same line of business. I think it can be very helpful right now for everybody. So the first thing I want to say is one of the most important things we can do is get suggestions from our current customers. So we have business to businesses and businesses to consumers. So if you're in a company, if you own a business that offers support to businesses, you could call all your customers or send them a very personal email. What are you doing in the crisis? How can I help you? How can I be there? And brainstorm with them. Because most often your customers will come up with an amazing idea that you might not have thought of new ways to do business together. And you're stronger together. So it might be a great ally to reach out right now in a very personalized email or phone call to some of your customers and get their feedback. Don't send an email that sounds canned or salesy, but make it very personal, because this is something that you want to do with them. And if in your business, if you own a business that's to customers rather than to businesses, you have lots of customers, then you can send them all a nice email, very personalized, and get their feedback. A couple of ways to do that. There's some online polling platforms where you can get polls from your customers about ways that you could change your business on a dime. Also on your website, you could create a whole new page just for the pandemic. And it could have a feedback form for your customers to say, please let me know how I can help. And they might come up with some amazing ideas of ways that you could restructure your business on a dime, just in the moment, just for this period of time, and better serve your customers and continue to receive revenue. So that's kind of what I think is important. If we can brainstorm together, the power of two minds is so much better than the power of one. Maybe you can find a new direction. Even if there is no new direction for you, then it's time to market what you've been doing all along. That's key. And I think this is a perfect time to ramp up your marketing. A lot of studies are saying this is it. This is the key time. So I want to take you through some fun internet marketing tips. So everyone by now at this point in time, I hope, has a website. And a lot of my clients that I coach and work with haven't upgraded their website in a long time, or they don't know how, or they rely on a webmaster. And that's fine if you rely on a webmaster. If you still have the funds to upgrade your website, I highly recommend using some of these tactics. And if you have a WordPress site, if you can get in there and learn to upgrade it yourself and make changes and move content, there's lots of free tutorials online. Don't be afraid. Get in there and learn how to upgrade your own website and change it, because I really want to empower you to learn to do that and not rely on someone else to. And if you're not happy with your website, now is a perfect time to redo it. And I always recommend Wix, W-I-X. Wix is a fantastic platform. I use it with so many of my clients because it's so easy to update. It's not complicated. It's not technical. Basically, if you know how to use a Word document, Wix is great. And it's very robust, beautiful portfolio of media that you can use for free, royalty-free photos and images. And it's just a fantastic site. It can take payments. It can have membership sites. So if you're thinking about changing platforms, it's so affordable. I mean, it's $10 a month, including hosting. I highly recommend Wix. So the principles of internet marketing, number one, everyone needs to be on the first page of Google. That's the goal. And there's two ways to do it, and they can be combined. One is you pay to be on the first page of Google by buying ads through Google ads, Facebook ads, etc. You can be on the first page of something. Google's key. It generally receives about 75 to 80% of the market share of all searches. So being on the first page of Google is very important. If you are a local business, which I imagine many of you are, and I specialize in local search, I can do national search as well, but local search is a very particular, specific study. So to be on that first page of Google, few things. Yes, you can pay and buy Google ads, and you can set your budget, but the organic way is to create a website with amazing content, very specific content. And this is one of the things that Google really decides upon before it renders a website up as a response to a searcher's inquiry. So if someone is searching for Thai food restaurants in Santa Barbara, Google has an algorithm. It's going to search for all the Thai restaurants with a geotag of Santa Barbara, and the ones that get the best reviews, have the best content, the best navigation, and maybe some good links to some other directories, is Google will render up first over the other Thai restaurants. And so the key to this whole thing is designing a website that has great content broken down with kind of like long tail keyword phrases. Now, what does that mean? So a long tail keyword phrase would be, if I typed in Santa Barbara chiropractor, it's kind of a broad search. But if I typed in Santa Barbara family chiropractor for sciatica, really specific, that's where Google goes, oh, this website talks about sciatica. And you might just have a page all on sciatica if you're a chiropractor. What it is, how it's treated, how long it takes to heal from sciatica, that kind of thing. So the more detailed you get on your maybe top searches, that when people are looking for your kind of business, the better it is. So you don't want to necessarily have just a couple of paragraphs on Santa Barbara chiropractic and just let it be. You want to have deep pages going into these details. So I'm gonna do a little screen share with you, and hope this works on Google. And I want to just illustrate this because it's, there we go. I'm going to do a new share. So I'm going to take you to Google. I hope you all can see that. There's little Google. It's Earth Day today, so they have the bee. So if I type in Santa Barbara, my keyboard's high, so it's kind of awkward for me. Chiropractor. There it is. Google auto-populates. Before I even finish, I want you to see these are all things that people have been searching for. So it's Santa Barbara chiropractor, Santa Barbara chiropractic, Santa Barbara chiropractic clinic, family chiropractic, best. These are common searches that are getting searched over and over. So we know that these are keyword phrases that are important on your website to add in on your content, on your homepage, okay? So if I just click on Santa Barbara chiropractor, you'll see right here, it's getting 625,000 results per month nationwide. And then these are ads. People are paying for these. And I want you also to know that the ads aren't expensive. You set the budget, and Google will shut it off when you reach your budget. So if your budget's $200 a month, it'll show about $7 worth of ads a day. And you can have 100 ads, or you can have 5. It costs the same because you're only charged per click. So that this chiropractor, for example, is getting to the top because they're advertising. Now, if you scroll down a little bit, you see that there's this list of 4 other agencies. This one happens to be one of my clients. And I do SEO for this particular client, and I've asked her if it's okay to demonstrate, and she said it was. So the content on this particular site is deep. Like I said, we went and did a lot of different kinds of services, different things she does. She does blood tests, she does nutrition. So we'd have pages on each one of those, and that's what I want to encourage you to do. These are free ads. These are not ads. These are actually free listings from the Google My Business page. And you want to get on your Google My Business page, and we're going to talk about that later. But this is the pack that is for the local search pack. Usually it shows 3, sometimes it shows 4. And these are organic listings here, meaning they're not paid. They're from good content and good reviews and good, well-designed. Here's mine down here in the first page, organically. So it's going to shift depending on the search terms. So if we change this to Santa Barbara Family Chiropractic, remember we got 625,000, now we get 1 million. And you're going to see different things in different orders, different companies in different orders, because the keyword phrases are different. So you really want to find out what people are searching for, and you can do that. By the way, it's auto-populating here. And fold those terms into your website for titles of the pages and subtitles for the paragraphs. but it should sound authentic. You don't want to stuff keywords ever, but you want to make sure that you know what people are searching for, and then you want to answer their inquiry. At the bottom of this first page, there's more search suggestions. Chiropractor near me, chiropractor Santa Barbara. So this is important to look also at the bottom of this page, because these searches are important too, and then you want to name your content afterwards. This big section here is a Google My Business page, and we'll get into that. This is a free listing. Everyone needs to fill out their Google My Business page because it is one of the most important things in getting your website found. Okay, we're going to go back here, and we're going to dig in now. I know there'll be lots of questions, but we can do that. We can do that later for sure. Okay, so we're going to clean up old, outdated content. It needs to be fresh and new, especially how you're dealing with a pandemic. You might be offering new services. You want to put that right on the home page or a little pop-up. You want to add these keyword phrases we just looked in, and you want to make sure that every paragraph has a specific keyword phrase that you've done some research on, that you know people are searching for. And then questions. People are searching by questions now, okay? It's changing all the time. So you might say, what is the best Thai restaurant in Santa Barbara? It's a question. So your paragraph could say, searching for the best Thai restaurant in Santa Barbara, question mark. You've come to the right place. ABC Thai restaurant serves fresh, gourmet Thai food. So you might want to take the question and make it the title of a paragraph, and then talk about it and answer the question. Or a chiropractor, for example, how do you get rid of sciatica? That might be a perfect title on the sciatica page. It could be all about sciatica by Dr. Valerie Gerard, Santa Barbara. Make sure you put your name and your town on the title of that new page you're creating. And then all about sciatica, all about whatever your business is, and then maybe the paragraphs. How do I get rid of sciatica? Question mark. You answer the question, because people are asking questions online about your business. So you want to address those questions, find out what they are, and find out what's trending. You can go to a site called Google Trends, and you can type in questions in your industry, and you'll see what people are asking and how they're phrasing it. And that's great content for your website. So these are great ways to get that content in there and have it be relative to what people want. You can't assume what people are searching for, and you can't assume what they're looking for. You have to do that research and then fold it into your website. Being authentic, of course. Okay, the next one down here is strengthen your navigation and your ease of use. When people arrive to your website, it's best not to name the pages really cutesy, poetic names. Like if you are an artist and you have a portfolio that you want to display, it's best to name that page portfolio or art. Don't name it something like breadcrumbs, which Google, when it crawls your website, won't understand what breadcrumbs is and how it relates to art. Keep it on key if you can. And as I said, on D, create a path about a page about the COVID-19, how you're helping. Lastly, on this page, get to know Google Analytics. You can sign up for a free Google Analytics account, and you put your website, it links to your website, it's integrated. It's very easy to do. And you can watch your traffic. It tells you everything. It tells you how many males or females are coming to your site, the age, it tells you all the demographics, what they're using. Are they using phones? Are they using laptops? Are they using Apple devices? Are they using PCs? It's amazing. And it shows the heat pattern of where they're landing on your website. What could be better? So if you see that they're landing on the home page and then they're going to the sciatica page, but then they're abandoning that page quickly, it actually can show you this, Google Analytics. You know you need to work on that sciatica page because they're not finding what they need and they're leaving. So you want to make sure when you find pages that are dropping off through Google Analytics, they need more work. That's all it's saying. People aren't finding what they're needing and they're clicking off. So it's very, very valuable to get a free Google Analytics account. And there's all kinds of free online tutorials of how to use them, and it's really not complicated. Lastly, when you're creating your content on your pages, you want to have links, what they call anchor text, to other pages within your site. So on your homepage, let's go back to the chiropractor again. There might be a mention on our homepage, I treat nerve pain, neck pain, back pain, sciatica. That you might want to make that word sciatica a hot link, a clickable link that links to the page on sciatica. It's called anchor text, and have it link right to that page so that people can see it's a different color blue. They know it's clickable, and right there they could go right to that sciatica page. It's very good for search engine optimization. So otherwise, the other important thing you can do right now is really interview your clients and showcase them on your website. Maybe feature your client of the month, and it can be something written. You can interview them on the phone and then do a transcribe software when it's recording, so you don't have to type it out. They might submit something written, a nice photo. You might get a video out of them. It builds loyalty. It's great to do a customer of the month, and a great story, a heartfelt story. It's great also for SEO, search engine optimization, because maybe their site will link to you, and the backlinks to their site, if they're related to your industry, can be very good for Google deciding to render up your site as one of the choices. Lastly here, make sure your site is mobile friendly. I think about 80% of the searches are on phones now. So you need to have a mobile site, and most WordPress and Wix, they all have that ability. Make sure your phone number is clickable. They shouldn't have to dial that phone number when they're on their phone. They should be able to click on your phone number and it rings. Large, easy to read text, email buttons. Again, they can click on how to contact you, an interactive map that they can use with their fingers to find you, an easy navigation on the phone. Very important. So that's, like, in a quick nutshell, some important things you can do. And if you do those things for your website, you have a better chance of landing on page 1. Number 2, advertising with Google Ads. I think everyone needs to do this. In the old days, everyone would spend $300 to $400 a month on yellow book page ads in the old phone books we used to have, right? If you just spend $200 a month, you'll get to the top of Google, like the ad I showed you as a chiropractor. Set your budget, comes out to about $7 a day, $210 a month. That's what it costs. And you can shut it off at any time. You can increase your budget. And it's very easy to use, and start to design quick little ads and see how they perform. It'll take about a month before Google learns the algorithms of your ads. You should probably have 3 ads for every service. Like I said, they don't charge you per ad. You can have 100 ads, still be $200 a month. It's how many times they click on you. The click is what costs. So I set my pay per click at $3.80, let's say. So every time someone clicks, they'll never spend more than that. The actual keyword phrases determine how much the click costs. So some keyword phrases, like Santa Barbara chiropractor, might cost $3.80 a click, and Santa Barbara restaurant might charge $2 a click. It just depends on the way Google designs it. So advertising is very important, and I recommend all of you, if you have the budget. I'm not saying to do it now during the pandemic. In fact, a lot of businesses and studies are showing that people are cutting back on their ad spending, or they're refining their ads to just promote maybe the new way they're doing business during the pandemic, or they're just trying to minimize their ad budget, because there's more traffic online for sure, but people are not buying as much right now. People are not using services as much. So you don't want to waste those ad dollars, but I think it's a good idea to go in and play with it and understand it, and maybe just try one ad and see if there is something that you're promoting during the time, like curbside delivery. I think you should do 3 ads on curbside delivery, make them all different, and try that and see what happens. It's a great thing to do. Facebook is a really good, valuable tool for advertising. You can boost your posts. You can put links there to your website. They have a great ad program. They have templates for the pandemic, easy to use, so easy. It's worth a try too, especially if you have something you're doing right during this pandemic. The ads, again, for Google will get you to the top, number 1 page. Okay, number 3, creating or updating your Google My Business page. Google gets about 75% to 80% of the traffic. The Google My Business page is a gift. Google is God, I hate to say it, but because they get so much traffic and they're the dominating force on the internet, you have to work within their framework. And the Google My Business page is just what I showed you before. It is absolutely fabulous. I'm going to just share the screen again if I can. Let's see. We'll go back to Google. Okay, so right here is the Google My Business page. It's easy to set up. You'll need a Google account, and you'll have to have an address. Not always. If you're in a rural place, there's some exceptions, and they'll walk you through it. They have a good tutorial. but you need to verify it. Once you set it up, you link it to your website. You want to complete everything: the address, the hours, the phone, appointments, everything you can talk about. Put some nice photos in there. You can even post and blog from it, which is phenomenal for SEO. It'll get your site up there and noticed. You can put events in there. It's fabulous, but you have to verify it. So what they do is they mail you a postcard, and it takes about 10 days. You look for it every day not to miss it, because your site won't go live. Your Google My Business page won't go live until you enter the code on the postcard. So once you get in the mail, you go back to your Google My Business page, you type in the code, and boom, you're live. So down here, there are the reviews. You can see you can actually put a description in, and you can post from it, as I said before, which is absolutely a very important, beautiful feature, because it's very helpful to let people know what you're doing during the pandemic, or any new offerings, even without being in the situation we're in, just to have the Google My Business page to post. Come meet us next Friday. We're having a wine and cheese open house. You can put things like that in there and get people into your store, into your office. So it's a very, very valuable thing. So definitely set that up if you haven't. And if you haven't, you want to use this time to set one up and get reviews right here. Customer reviews on your Google My Business page, essential. Google pulls reviews from different sources, but Google being the main place. But I think it also pulls from Facebook reviews and some other places on the internet. So your reviews show up there, and that's one of the decisions Google makes before it decides to show your website, is your reviews, your Google My Business page, the content in your website, the quality of the content on your website, quality, and the navigation. And I'm going to show you the ranking factors in a few minutes of what makes Google decide. Number 4, getting into local and industry directories using a consistent NAP, name, address, phone. This I can't stress enough for a local business. This is really important. There are lots of local directories. There's yellowpages.com. If you're a chiropractor, there might be Santa Barbara Chiropractor Association. You want to get in that directory. If you're a retailer in clothing, you might want to be in the California Retailers Association, Chambers of Commerce, Angie's List, Yelp. All these sites in these directories, as they're called, are very important because they give signals to Google that you're a legitimate business, you're serious, and it's authority. It creates more authority and trust with Google. The key to this whole thing is you want to keep your name, address, phone, the NAP, exactly the same way in all the directories. So if your address is 1725 State Street, Suite B as in boy, don't put in some directories 1725 State Street, apartment B or unit B or number B. Keep it the same. Make up your mind exactly how you want to do it, and put that in your Google My Business page, and then mock it exactly like the same way in all your directories. There's a company called Yext, Y-E-X-T, and they will submit you to hundreds of directories. They charge you. It's not cheap. It's probably, I don't know, $400 or $500 a year, but they'll do it for you. But you can do it in your own. I mean, there's tons of them. And if you do a little search on Google, what are the best local directories to get on for NAP, N-A-P, Google will show you. It's just like Yellow Pages, Angie Lists. There's a bunch of them. So that's pretty important, and I highly recommend that you guys can just chip away and start getting in those directories. Even places like Tripadvisor, very, very good. If you're in entertainment, hotel, lodging, food, experiences industry, Tripadvisor, you should be there and getting reviews, etc. Okay, number 5, working on your online reviews, known as reputation management. Online reviews give Google another huge signal that you should be up on the first page. If you have a lot of interactivity with your website and people are reviewing and commenting, Google loves that. So one of the key things to do is when you get some reviews is respond to them. You've seen people respond to reviews in other arenas, and it's a wonderful way to give back to the person that took the time to give you the review, but it's also good for SEO. It shows interactivity. So on your Google My Business page, there's actually a link you can get to send out in an email to your customers. If you don't mind giving me a review, because everyone has a little more time now, they can give a review. And I recommend you asking for reviews for everybody, except Yelp doesn't like people to ask for reviews. It violates their term of service. They want people just to go on and review you. We'll talk about Yelp in a minute. But then respond. If you see someone's giving you a review, respond, well, thank you, Joe. It's always a pleasure to serve you. And thanks for coming in the store the other day. You know, just give them something back. That's important. Okay, so the 3 social sites to focus on are Google, from your My Business page, Facebook, and Yelp. Also, like I said, Tripadvisor, a phenomenal place to, if you're in, I mean, Tripadvisor covers a lot of things. I mean, it's not just travel. They have museums listed, things to do. So if you're in a things to do industry, business, and experiences, a wine tasting, you're a vineyard, you know, you definitely want to be on Tripadvisor, and you want to respond to the customers. Better Business Bureau, great place to get reviews. Yellow Pages, Manta, Angie's List, Foursquare, Amazon, you know, that's a great place to, if you're selling products and you're using that platform, definitely try to get as many reviews you can. They have a whole platform to ask for reviews, and it really helps your ranking in whatever you're selling. So reviews are key. And as I said, it's a very important signal, as we'll see later when we look at the ranking factors. Okay, so number 6, be the expert. The other thing I encourage you to do is to create new assets for your website. It could be blogs, it could be ebooks, it could be webinars, articles. And if you're shy and you don't want to do a live video, you don't have to. You can do a recorded video. And then if you post it on YouTube, the SEO value for that is huge. You can get software that transcribes your audio. And then when you're transcribing it, if you're using those keyword phrases I showed you in your transcription and in your video, that's excellent, because your site will be found. So this is the time to make a list for new topics that will get the traffic. You can go back to Google Trends and kind of see what people are asking about right now. They're asking about home cooking, and they're asking about Instacart. They're asking, you know, there's Google Trends will let you know what people are looking on in the internet, and maybe there's something that in your industry that you could do some videos on, or some articles or blogs on. So you want to create content that's share-worthy, funny, informative, helpful, great pics, never salesy. You know, you can put the link at the end of the video or down at the bottom, that's fine. But really, this is about being helpful. This is about being creating shareable content that people will share, click to, and that's key. Definitely have links to your site, toot your horn, but don't make this about that. Create webinars or podcasts and become an authority. As I said, video will represent 80% of all internet traffic by 2021, according to Tubular Insights. We love video. All of us love to watch it. It makes us laugh. It makes us cry. So maybe there's some wonderful stories you could share about your customers, especially right now. You know, wonderful heartfelt stories or really informative videos. So you could create a how-to series, how to solve a problem, very important. And create a little series on that, maybe 5 to 8 minutes. So if you're in an industry where, let's say you're doing all natural hair color. I have a client that does that. Maybe you do a quick series on how to do that, where to buy the product, and do a little demonstration, and maybe discuss the pitfalls. Be careful, don't leave it on too long, or I mean, I'm not familiar with it, but you know, things like that. And how to solve a problem is very important, because people are searching for answers, right? So finding a content that answers questions and creating the content around that, be it an article, a blog, a video, that's huge. Okay, and then there's always live streaming. You know, you can pre-announce a workshop and on Facebook Live or Zoom. The nice thing about Facebook Live and Instagram is you have a ready-made audience, and you might get more customers and exposure. You know, and if you're shy, you know, you could practice. You could practice a little bit on your friends and overcome that, because making yourself the expert really will help you in business in many ways. And then again, if you're too shy for that, there's ebooks, articles, infographics, and blogs. blogging, I've got to mention, is key. A lot of people roll their eyes, I don't want to blog, I don't have time to blog. Well, we do have a little more time now, and if you pop out 4 or 5 articles at once, there are companies that schedule each blog to go out at a certain time, once a week, twice a week, Mondays at 9 a.m. I mean, they're schedulers, they're called. And blogging is excellent for SEO. Make it shareable, interesting, clickable, so people will come back and share it. And Google sees the signals, people connecting to your blog. We used to notice that often when you blog and you're using those key phrases that people are looking for as your topics, the rankings would go up immediately on the first page for a while. I mean, you can see your website just climb often from a blog post. So there it is. Companies who blog receive 97% more links to their website. Using images in blog posts gets 4% more views. So if you just read these stats, it's, 57% of marketers say they've gained customers through blogging. Just make sure your blog has that very specific information people want to read about. They're asking questions about. You're solving a problem. Make sure you have links to your site in the blog, name, phone number if you can, that kind of thing. It's recommended twice a week if possible. And when you blog, you can also take the URL from the blog and post it to Facebook or Instagram with a catchy title, blog from your Google My Business page right here. They have, like I said, you can post from there, and that is just so valuable. Can't even tell you. Then you can take the blog content and write articles about it, and you can publish these articles on industry sites. So a chiropractor might write an article on, tinnitus. That chiropractors might be able to relieve the symptoms of ringing in the ears, and might submit that article with links to the chiropractor site in the article, submit it to industry sites that talk, Chiropractor USA or something, online sites like that, or health sites. So blogging is absolutely going to help you if you can just do it consistently and make it a fun thing. It doesn't have to be, and if you're worried about your writing skills or anything like that, have another pair of eyes read it. But I think it's just really worth its weight in gold. And the other one is to build your email list and your newsletter. Every blogger I know says the money is in the email list. You want to have a sign-up page on your website to sign up for your newsletter. And you want to get that newsletter out there. Free newsletters like Mailchimp. I think they give you up to 1,000 members on the list for free. And Mailchimp is a very robust, nice platform, and they've really enhanced it lately to actually include landing pages and all kinds of simple templates for you. Constant Contact's another great one. They do charge you. There's a lot of different ways, but you really have to create a newsletter. It lets people know what's going on. It stays in front of your customers. You can offer new promotions and discounts. You can get more referrals, and it builds your branding. It shows who you are in the industry. You're standing out. When you sign up for Mailchimp or one of the platforms, the beauty is they have tracking software that shows you how many of your newsletters were opened. Like if you sent 400 out, maybe 300 were opened or 200. And then there might be links there, a desired action that you embed in the newsletter that says, here, I'm offering this new herbal tonic for, to build your immunities. Buy here. And right in the newsletter, they can click on the link and go buy the herbal remedy. I mean, it's fabulous. And so you can get a desired action, or the desired action might be, click here to learn more, and it might send them to a page on your website where you're discussing something in detail with an offer. Discount now, buy before May 31st and receive 20% off. The newsletter should not be salesy. It should be informational. But you subtly can put links to products in there because, if you're talking about immunity building right now and you're a healthcare provider, there's nothing wrong with putting a link to something that might help people. As long as it's done in a way that's authentic. Okay, we've talked about getting to the top of Google. Become educated about getting your website on the first page for local search. According to this study from Moz.com, which is an industry authority, here are the most recent ranking factors. This is a 2-year-old ranking, but it's pretty much the same. Moz, by the way, is a phenomenal resource. They have SEO guides for beginners. It's written in layman's terms, so you can understand all of this. It's free. They're kind of the Harvard of SEO. I love them. They're just great guys. They're based in San Francisco. Just an amazing company, very educationally based. So I want you to look at this. Google My Business is the #1 ranking, 25%. They're ranking this as one of the first most important signals to Google before it serves up a website as a result to somebody searching. The Google My Business signal, that is key. #2, link signal, anchor text, inbound anchor text, linking domain authority. What does that mean? 16, almost 17%, they're giving weight, Google gives weight to link signals. They're talking about, remember we had those directories discussion where you might want to get into the Chamber of Commerce from Santa Barbara or Ventura or wherever, a link from them to your website, or a link from the National Association of Realtors, if you're a realtor, linking to your website. It likes signals from authoritative resources to your website. Not like, you know, Tom's paint store if you're a chiropractor linking to you. That's not, that doesn't match. It needs to be sort of an industry authority. So it's looking at that, and that gives Google a trust signal. Review signals, let's reviews again. That's all the, like 15.5%. Google gives weight to reviews, getting the signals, getting interactivity, good positive reviews, you're responding, that's very important. #4, on-page signals right here, presence of NAP, keywords in the titles. Remember we said, what is sciatica? Is on your sciatica page, keywords in the titles, it's really weighing almost 14% on on-page signals. And on-page just means the content you're writing, quality. Are you answering questions that are constantly being asked over and over? Are you answering them well with detail? Go deep with it. And cite some clinical studies. If you're, again, in the natural hair dye field and you cite a clinical study that, you know, traditional hair dye can cause cancer, put that statistic on your website, you know, just so it shows Google that there's trust and authority there. Citation signals, that's what we're talking about. The NAP consistency, there's that word. Remember I said keep the address exactly the same across the internet. Behavior signals, click-through rate, mobile clicks to call. That's why you want that link on your mobile website version, so they can just click and it calls you. That's important. 10% personalization. So this category, this column is very important, and keep this in mind. You will receive a PDF at the end of this that Nikki will share that has this entire content on it with clickable links of more than I've even talked to. I put resources in there so you can click on it and read on your own. So don't worry about trying to digest all of this, because it's a lot. And it takes years to learn this stuff, and then it changes all the time. We have to constantly be testing and tracking. But if you read some of the material in the PDF that you'll receive after this, it'll educate you, and you can take your time to digest it and go through it slowly, because I know I'm moving pretty quickly here. Social media. Okay, understanding the power of it. Post-worthy content. Really, that's what we want. We want it to be educational. Quality and consistency of posts are very important. Google will see that as a ranking factor, and also it's building your branding. It's building a customer base. People are going to look forward to your posts. There's some people on Facebook and Instagram, I just love their posts. I can't wait to read them. They're very choosy about what they post, the way they post it. I'm always educated by them. You know, it's fun. So we want to keep it authentic. We want it to be positive, heartfelt stories, funnies, and quizzes. Interactivity is very important. So if you can get your customers to interact with you through quizzes and funnies, polls, questions, that's very good. That's a very helpful thing for you. And again, you don't want to sound salesy. You can certainly put a link at the bottom of the post, no problem. And I think a link to your blog post is very great, a great idea. So you've written your blog on your website, you have a link to it, you're going to post about the blog on Facebook, for example. Write something new and fresh. Don't just duplicate the same content when you describe the blog, and make it catchy and positive. So it's all shareable. Okay, which social media platform? Well, it depends on your business. As you know, Instagram sometimes attracts a younger demographic. Facebook might be a little older. folks my age. But with 74% of Facebook's users logging in daily, Facebook has a lot of clout. It has far more engagement with people than LinkedIn or Twitter. This is from a study. Has the highest percentage of daily users and the highest average number of daily sessions. Now, when you post, your post can go right to the bottom of the feed relatively quickly. You've seen that happen. So the next question is, well, how often should I post? A study from HubSpot.com, and by the way, HubSpot is a fabulous marketing resource. You guys should just go on there and just check it out. There's a lot of really useful information. According to their studies, Facebook, once per day and not more. Studies found that for under 10,000 fans, they experienced a 50% drop in engagement per post if they posted more than once. So once a day on Facebook, minimum 3 times a week. Twitter, they say 3 to 30 times a day. I don't have time for that, even during the pandemic. Instagram, 1 to 2 times a day and not more. And then if you read my PDF, you'll see that there's actual times to post, I believe, for blogs. Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There's actually good times. There's all information out there, and I've got clickable links on my PDF for you. So I just want to kind of end before we open it up to question and answer, and Nikki will enable us to do that. Just want to say that stay positive if you can. I know it's really hard financially, and a lot of us have seen our businesses just come to a halt, and you wonder, can I make the rent? This is a good time maybe to renegotiate with the landlord, do a payment plan if you can. This is the time to boost your marketing and educate yourself, because this will pay off. If you do all these things, and like I said, the PDF will make it easier for you. If you do all these things, it's going to help tremendously. Become that industry expert. Try to overcome your fears of self-promotion. A lot of us don't like to toot our horn. We were taught we shouldn't. Especially women. I know that sounds sexist, but a lot of women don't want to toot their horn, and I get that. So try to overcome that and stay authentic, helpful, and innovative, and try new things, because why not, right? Just try new things. And if it doesn't work, nothing bad's going to happen, but try it. Like I said, if I had one client said, what am I going to do? My business is completely shut down. And I said, well, what about a home delivery? What if you just start a home delivery for people who are shut in? She thought that was a really good idea. It had nothing to do with the nature of her business. And she can quickly put up a Google ad. She can post some ads on local Facebook. You can actually do geo-targeting just for Santa Barbara, Ventura, our counties, and offer this. And, might cost $200 a month in advertising, but now you're delivering, and you're maybe it's $35 an hour to go shopping and to deliver to people who can't get out, elderly, shut-ins. There's a whole service, and it doesn't have to be this lifelong new career, but it might put some food on the table that'll get you through, a few extra months, and you're doing something good for the community. So I want to end on that. I'm a Santa Barbara-based internet marketer, social media, and mainly SEO. That's sort of my forte. I do build websites. I help design the content. I do a lot of writing content for the websites and keyword research and all that good stuff. I set up Google AdWords, and I help coach businesses just in general marketing principles, and brainstorm with my clients of what can we do? What can we do together? How can we make, build more avenues of business for you? And it's so fun for me. I love it. So I'm Local Searchability, Michelle Gysan, and I'm going to give it back to Nikki. And then if any of you have some questions for the next, let's see, it's 9:45, maybe till 10:10 or something. If you have some questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Great. Thank you so much, Michelle. Wow, that was a lot of detailed content, and I'm really grateful that you kind of went into such detail for us and for everybody on the webinar. And just to reiterate, everybody will be getting a copy of a PDF that Michelle has prepared, and we'll also be sending out the recording from this webinar. So you will have the chance to kind of review everything in detail. We were getting quite a few questions in the chat and the Q&A. If people have questions, please put them in Q&A, but I will go back through the chat now. So one question that came up is, if people are getting calls that purport to be from Google or Google Business or Google Authorized helping you advertise your business online, is that something that Google are doing, or is that a scam?
I'm sorry, could you rephrase that question, Nikki?
Do Google call and solicit business for Google My Business, or are those calls to be ignored? You know, is it another company that's potentially trying to raise money? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay. I haven't for Google My Business call. I've never received a call for Google My Business because they don't. Which is that specific Google My Business page. It's free because they don't make any money off you. But getting calls from Google for ads could be actually real. Google went through a period for about 3 years where they just hammered everyone. They were calling everyone to get Google. If you had an ad account, Google Ads or AdWords as it was called, they would just hammer you. They'd call me like 4 times a week. And what they wanted me to do is up all my clients' budgets. I didn't like that. And I finally said, you guys have to stop calling me. This is just ridiculous. And they used to hassle people. So it might be, it might be a robocall, or it might actually be Google. I think they've laid off of it, which is great. I think all our telemarketing is a little quieter now. Very happy. I'll read some of these questions. Specific tips to target Spanish-speaking market. Hi, Christina. I think there's a lot of good information on Google for that. If the website can be translated in Spanish. I have a hotel in Mexico, and it's got the Spanish and English version. Very important to have both, I think. And Google has a lot of information on that for marketing for those markets specifically. Let's see, can you give your email address? I just went to your website in the contact form. Well, thank you for telling me. I'll have to check that out. I know, and my Google My Business photo is a parking lot. Elizabeth Bryant's, if you're looking at the question and answer, I have tried to get them to change that. When you set up your Google My Business page, someone goes around from Google and takes a picture of your office. They took a picture of a parking lot of the IHOP. It's my business, and I've been trying to get them to change it. You can't change that photo. It's theirs, and I've been emailing them because it's terrible. It makes me look like I'm I'm in the parking lot. So yes, my email is M as in Michelle, G as in George, Y as in yellow, S as in Sam, A as in Apple, N as in Nancy, mgyson@gmail.com. It'll also be on the PDF with my contact information. Hannah asked, would you use directories for e-commerce businesses as well? Yes, especially any industry-related directory is key. So depending on what you're selling with e-commerce, if you're out there on Amazon or Etsy or a specific line of products, you definitely want to get in directories that are more nationally known, that relate to your business, if possible. Definitely, for sure. Let's see, can you share a potential resource for getting your Mailchimp mailing list subscription button listed on your website without paying the high business level subscription or on Squarespace? Hi, Bonnie. Getting your Mailchimp, okay, for getting Mailchimp subscription button listed on your website. Well, I think it depends on your website too. I don't know. You can do it just a link to your. You always should be able to have a free link to your newsletter and your subscription list. So I'm not sure what you're using in the integration of what website, etc. But you shouldn't have to. I mean, you can probably create a different kind of form and have it achieve the same way without paying. So we could talk about that another time. Let's see. Any other questions for now about SEO? Anything else on the Q&A?
There's a couple in the chat that I can read out. So we have a therapist who obviously the business is confidential in some way. So how would she present? If you did suggest interviews with customers or clients, I mean, how would you suggest that somebody that deals in a confidential way with their customers and clients can present and advocate their work on their site?
You mean as far as testimonials?
Yeah, I think something along those lines.
Right. Okay. So just as with a lot of healthcare providers with the HIPAA laws, et cetera, you don't have to use their actual name. They could write a testimonial or a story, and they could just put some initials JS from Ventura. They don't have to give their name. It could just put client, comma, Santa Barbara, current client, Santa Barbara. They don't have to give their name, so they can give an anonymous testimonial, so you're still getting the quality, and people obviously will understand if you're a therapist that their clients can't give their name. I hope that helps. And Ashley, you said, I have a YouTube channel promoting an online harassment prevention course that I created. Where's the best place to promote these videos to boost SEO? Okay, so you're using YouTube channel already, and you know that YouTube is owned by Google. So YouTube is a phenomenal place because anything on YouTube gets indexed immediately on Google. So you want to make sure that you read a lot about promoting your videos through SEO. There's tons and tons of articles on it. Educate yourself as much as you can, and make sure you have a transcript of your audio, because that transcript is what Google will crawl for words. Make sure you have your keyword phrases in your transcript when you're vocally speaking. There's a lot of transcription softwares. I think I mentioned a few in the PDF for that. That's key. But everywhere and anywhere is the answer to post your videos. I mean, Vimeo, YouTube probably being one of the best, on your website. Links to it, when you're in community forums, maybe. I'm not sure. Community forums on online harassment. It's a great place to maybe put a link. Here's a helpful video, that kind of thing. Yes, subtitle to transcribe. Okay, great, good. You're doing that already. That's perfect. So that's key. You're already ahead of the game. Any other questions in the chat or?
Yeah, Michelle, I have a question. So you talked about reviews and always kind of replying to your Yelp reviews and your Google reviews. How do you deal with a negative review?
Okay, very good question, Nick. I'm glad you brought that up. First of all, there are trolls and bots that come around, leave negative reviews from people who hire people to do that. There's actually, a lot of people who don't even use your services, that might be a competitor in town, that can go leave a negative review, like on Yelp. And that's the problem with Yelp. Let's talk about Yelp for a minute. The way that you deal with Yelp when you have negative reviews is it's twofold. If it's not accurate and it violates one of the Yelp terms of services, you can email Yelp, red flag it, and say, this review isn't real. It's not authentic. It's a troll, and please remove it. Unfortunately, I've had a very hard time having Yelp remove reviews that are absolutely fake, bogus. They're not very helpful. And so competitors can keep leaving negative reviews and really hurt your reputation. So some people say, I quit my Yelp account. And some people say, I don't even want to create a Yelp account, because that can happen. People can be mean, I'm telling you. But if you have an actual authentic negative review on, let's say, Google or Tripadvisor, the more positive reviews you get will push the negative review down. You could respond to the person and say, I'm so sorry you had that experience, but that day our electricity was shut off, and we had a delay. I mean, you could do an explanation so everyone online can see, oh, well, they had some issues that day. If it's a legitimate reason. I think that you could respond. Sometimes if you have someone who's angry, an angry customer, there's all these studies on responding to negative reviews, by the way. It can make them angrier. So, you have to be careful. You have to kind of gauge who's leaving the review. Is it legitimate? And will I make them angrier, or do I have a reason for why they gave me a negative review, and can I explain myself? So I think you really have to gauge that. Getting more and more positive reviews, the more you can get, it'll push the negative ones down to the bottom, and it will outweigh. If you have some ratings, you'll see, I think it's Yelp, you'll see like 3 orange stars, and then as you get more 5 stars, they'll turn gold. So you just need as many positive reviews you can get. Don't ever hire a company to give you fake reviews, because that's called black hat SEO, and it's not good. But definitely, if you're uncomfortable with asking your customers for reviews, you need to overcome that, because a lot of them are happy to do it. And you can just write a very sweet personal email and ask them for it, and have the link right in the email to your Google My Business page, or wherever. That's key. Elizabeth says, yes, Yelp is difficult. In addition to the fake negative reviews, they do high pressure sales. I wonder if they choose not to respond. Yes, don't pay them. Positive reviews don't count unless the person reviewing does tons of other reviews on Yelp. That's absolutely true. Elizabeth brings up a good point. If you have someone give you a review on Yelp and they're not used to leaving reviews on Yelp, that review falls off in about 30 days. So you really want Yelpers to leave reviews for you, people who actually Yelp a lot, excuse me, and it'll stick. So that's another thing. It's problematic. It is. But I use Yelp all the time. I want to find a good plumber. I want to know what people are saying. I use it all the time. I think it's very helpful, but there are a lot of negatives. So you just have to be careful. Any other questions? Are we good to go? Thanks for hanging in there with me. I know it's a lot of information.
Well, the beauty of it is you're going to be sharing it with everybody afterwards. So again, I just want to take the time to say a huge thank you to Michelle. And we're really excited to have her join as a Thrive Business Advisor. For those of you not familiar with WEV's programs, Thrive is a business consulting program that we offer where you meet with an advisor once a month. So if you want more information about joining that, then please go onto our wevonline.org website and click on programs, and you'll find more information about Thrive. I also want to mention, please make sure that you're signed up for our newsletters. You can click a button on at the start of our website that will help sign you up for those. And I'm also going to put a link in the email I send later. And then you'll be aware of all the offerings that we're kind of bringing to you now and in the future. On Friday, there is a meetup, an online meetup at 9 a.m. And an email went out about that first thing on Monday. So if you want more information about that, then just email me, Nikki, and I'll put my email address in the chat box. I just, really want you to be aware of everything that WEV is doing right now to kind of bring community and resource and just connect you. But on that note, I just again say thank you to Michelle and thank you to everybody. Follow WEV on social media. Thank you, Lisa, for that nudge as well. We're on Facebook and Instagram. And I think that about wraps it up. Next week, we're going to be continuing the online theme. We'll be talking specifically about e-commerce and how to set up your business online to accept payments online. Which I think is going to be incredibly useful as well. So have a great week, everybody. Go and update your website and get those keywords and do some marketing and take care. Okay, bye.
Thank you.